Imagine waking up one morning feeling completely fine, going about your usual routine, maybe pouring a cup of coffee, skipping breakfast because you're not hungry yet, or rushing straight into your day without a sip of water. You feel normal, you think you're healthy. But what if I told you that a single habit you do in those first minutes after waking could quietly raise your stroke risk by over 300%? Yes, 300%. And the most chilling part is that you won't feel a thing until it's too late. This is the silent danger that many seniors face every single morning, often without realizing it. And as a brain doctor, I can tell you that your morning choices can decide the health of your brain for the rest of your life. So, if you think this sounds dramatic, stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal could be the most important health lesson you hear all year. The truth is, mornings are the most critical time when it comes to stroke risk, especially after age 60, because research has shown that the first few hours after waking are the most dangerous for a stroke to occur. And that's because your body is coming out of a long period of rest, where your blood is thicker from mild overnight dehydration. Your blood pressure often spikes as your body's hormones wake you up, and your heart and brain are adjusting to the demands of movement after hours of lying down. For many seniors, this combination is like a perfect storm that can silently threaten your brain. But when you add in a dangerous habit, like skipping water, going straight for strong coffee, or ignoring early warning signs like dizziness, you're stacking the odds even further against yourself. One of the most overlooked dangers I see in my patients almost every week is waking up and immediately loading the body with caffeine before hydrating. And while caffeine itself isn't necessarily the villain when used in moderation, the problem is that when you've gone 7 or 8 hours without water, your blood is already thicker, making it harder for your heart to pump and for your brain to receive the oxygen it needs. Then you add caffeine, which can constrict blood vessels and temporarily raise blood pressure, and you have the perfect trigger for what's called a morning blood pressure surge, which is a spike in pressure that has been directly linked to strokes in seniors. If you're over 60 and you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, or a history of heart problems, this surge could be the final push that causes a clot to block blood flow to your brain. But that's not the only danger lurking. Another silent threat is ignoring what your body is trying to tell you in those first few minutes after waking. Morning dizziness, blurry vision, sudden weakness on one side of the body, or slurred speech are not signs to shrug off or walk off as you get moving. They can be mini strokes, also called transient ischemic attacks, or TIAs, which are your brain's red warning alarms. And the tragedy is that so many seniors ignore these symptoms, thinking they'll pass, when in reality, they're a sign that a major stroke could be hours or days away. In fact, studies show that 1 in 3 people who have a TIA will suffer a full-blown stroke within 90 days, often within the first 48 hours, which means the clock can run out before you even realize it's ticking. And here's something most people don't understand. Overnight dehydration is more than just a dry mouth issue, because your brain is about 75% water. And when you're dehydrated, your blood volume drops, meaning less oxygen gets to your brain cells, which can slow your thinking, make you feel tired, and most dangerously, increase the likelihood of blood clots forming. And a simple glass of water within the first 15 minutes of waking can thin your blood just enough to restore healthy flow and reduce clot risk. But many people delay it, sometimes for hours, without realizing they're setting the stage for a medical emergency. Another factor is blood pressure spikes, because blood pressure naturally dips while you sleep, but as soon as you wake, it begins to rise sharply due to the release of cortisol and other hormones that prepare your body for the day. In a younger, healthier person, the blood vessels can handle this surge. But in seniors whose arteries may already be narrowed from years of wear, high cholesterol, or inflammation, the pressure spike can damage delicate vessel walls, increasing the chance of a rupture or blockage. And if your morning routine involves sudden, vigorous activity without a gentle warm-up, or you combine that with caffeine and dehydration, you're amplifying that spike even more. Yet, another overlooked issue is poor morning breathing habits, because many seniors wake up with shallow breathing, especially those who sleep in awkward positions or have sleep apnea. And shallow breathing means less oxygen in your blood right when your brain needs it most. And without enough oxygen, brain cells begin to struggle. And in a brain that's already at risk due to high blood pressure or plaque buildup, this can push things over the edge. Which is why the solution here is simple. Before you even get out of bed, take 5 deep, slow breaths, filling your lungs completely, to oxygenate your blood and prepare your brain for the day. But here's the good news. The same morning period that carries the highest risk can also be turned into your most powerful stroke prevention window if you know what to do. And the first step is as simple as hydrate before you caffeinate, because a tall glass of room temperature water immediately after waking will rehydrate your body, thin your blood, and help stabilize blood pressure. And if you can, add a pinch of Himalayan salt or a squeeze of lemon to restore electrolytes and support circulation. The second step is to check in with your body each morning by taking 30 seconds to scan for stroke warning signs: weakness, numbness, difficulty speaking, vision changes, or sudden imbalance. And if you notice anything unusual, don't wait and see. Because in stroke care, every minute counts, since brain cells start dying within minutes of losing oxygen. The third step is to move gently before moving fast, because many people jump straight out of bed, which can cause a sudden drop in blood pressure and make you dizzy, or worse, trigger a fall. So instead, sit on the edge of the bed, flex your ankles, roll your shoulders, and take a few deep breaths before standing. And if you're going to exercise, start with a light warm-up rather than intense activity right away. Now, does this mean you should give up your morning coffee completely? Not necessarily. Coffee can be part of a healthy routine, but timing is key. So have your coffee after you've hydrated and eaten something light, like fruit or whole grains, because this helps buffer the effects of caffeine on your blood vessels and prevents dramatic blood pressure spikes. Another thing that deserves attention is sodium and potassium balance, because many seniors consume too much sodium from processed foods and not enough potassium from fruits and vegetables. And this imbalance can raise blood pressure and put extra strain on your arteries. So starting your morning with a potassium-rich food like a banana, avocado, or spinach smoothie can help counteract excess sodium and support healthy circulation. Finally, one of the most dangerous yet underestimated factors is stress. Because cortisol, the stress hormone, is naturally highest in the morning, and if you begin your day rushing, worrying, or checking stressful news, you're amplifying that hormonal surge. And chronic morning stress can damage blood vessels, promote inflammation, and raise stroke risk over time. So instead, try beginning your day with a few minutes of calm, deep breathing, light stretching, or even quiet reflection before diving into tasks. By now, it's clear that the morning is both your greatest danger and your greatest opportunity when it comes to stroke prevention, because the habits you choose in those first 60 minutes can either raise your risk by 300% or help protect your brain for years to come. And in the next part of this video, I'll reveal a step-by-step morning brain protection routine designed specifically for seniors over 60, explain the science behind each step, and give you powerful strategies to improve circulation, stabilize blood pressure, and keep your brain sharp well into your 80s and beyond. So stay tuned. You won't want to miss this. Welcome back. Now that you understand why mornings can be the most dangerous hours for stroke risk after 60, it's time to take that same window of vulnerability and turn it into your most powerful opportunity for protection. Because by making a few intentional changes in the first hour after waking, you can not only slash your stroke risk, but also strengthen your brain's resilience for the years ahead. And I'm going to walk you through a clear, science-backed morning brain protection routine that any senior can start tomorrow without expensive supplements or complicated schedules. Just simple, consistent actions that add up to powerful results over time. The first step is to hydrate immediately before anything else. Because the very first thing you should do when you open your eyes is drink a full glass of water, at least 250 to 300 milliliters, before coffee, tea, or breakfast. Overnight dehydration thickens the blood and makes it harder for your heart to push oxygen-rich blood to your brain. And when blood is thicker, clots are more likely to form. So, restoring hydration quickly helps thin the blood naturally, stabilizes blood pressure, and primes your circulation. And if you want to give your body an extra boost, you can add a pinch of natural mineral salt or a squeeze of fresh lemon to replenish electrolytes and support nerve and muscle function. The second step is to breathe before you move, because oxygen is the fuel your brain runs on. After hours of shallow breathing during sleep, especially if you snore or have sleep apnea, your oxygen levels can dip. That's why, before swinging your legs out of bed, take 5 slow, deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and expanding your belly, holding for a second, and then exhaling slowly through your mouth. This not only increases oxygen in your bloodstream, but also helps regulate your heart rate and blood pressure before you stand. The third step is to scan your body for warning signs. This is your personal daily stroke check, and it takes less than a minute but could save your life. So, ask yourself if you feel sudden weakness in an arm or leg, if your speech is slurred, if your vision is blurry or doubled, or if you feel numbness on one side of your face. And remember, even if these symptoms fade quickly, they may signal a transient ischemic attack or mini-stroke, which is the brain's urgent alarm bell that a major stroke could be coming in hours or days. Since 1 in 3 people who have a TIA will suffer a full stroke within 90 days, often within 48 hours, this quick morning scan could be your early warning system. The fourth step is to move slowly into your day instead of jumping up suddenly, because going from lying down to standing too quickly can cause orthostatic hypotension, a sudden drop in blood pressure that leads to dizziness, lightheadedness, and even falls. So instead, sit up slowly, dangle your legs over the side of the bed, flex your ankles for about 30 seconds, roll your shoulders, and take a few more deep breaths before standing. And if you're planning morning exercise, ease into it with a gentle warm-up rather than jumping into vigorous movement right away. The fifth step is to nourish your brain before caffeine. Now, this doesn't mean you have to give up coffee forever, but you should, delay it until after you've hydrated and had a light, balanced breakfast. Having caffeine on an empty, dehydrated stomach can constrict blood vessels and spike blood pressure, while starting with something like oatmeal topped with berries, a banana with almond butter, or a spinach and avocado smoothie gives your brain potassium, magnesium, antioxidants, and slow-release energy, all of which support healthy blood flow and protect vessel walls. The sixth step is to manage your morning blood pressure surge, which means avoiding sudden temperature changes like going from a warm bed to an icy shower, because such shocks to your system can spike pressure. And if you take blood pressure medication, it's really important to follow your doctor's guidance on whether morning dosing is best for you to counteract the surge. Also, consider incorporating a short session of gentle stretching, slow walking, or yoga to help regulate blood flow. The seventh step is to support circulation daily, which goes beyond just the morning, but definitely starts there. Eat potassium-rich foods, reduce processed sodium, and include circulation-friendly foods like leafy greens, beets, walnuts, chia seeds, and fatty fish in your diet, because these help keep arteries flexible and reduce plaque buildup. Now, let's talk about why these steps work. Because, honestly, when you understand the science, you're far more likely to commit to them. Your brain is like the world's most delicate supercomputer, requiring a constant flow of oxygen and nutrients. And when a clot, rupture, or narrowed vessel interrupts that flow, brain cells start dying within minutes. That's exactly why preventing clots, stabilizing blood pressure, and making sure you're getting enough oxygen in the morning is just so critical. What's equally important to realize is that stroke prevention isn't only about avoiding the big one. It's also about preventing the accumulation of silent strokes, tiny, symptomless brain injuries caused by brief blockages, which can add up over the years and contribute to memory loss, reduced mental sharpness, and dementia. And by following these morning habits, you're not just reducing your immediate risk, you're protecting your long-term brain health as well. We also need to address another underestimated sign: morning headaches, which many seniors dismiss as nothing serious. But waking up with frequent headaches could indicate high blood pressure, reduced oxygen at night, or even an early warning sign of vascular problems, all of which raise stroke risk. So if this happens more than a couple times a week, get evaluated rather than ignoring it. Now you might think, but this sounds like common sense. Do I really need to change my routine? Follow these daily, and you're not only reducing stroke risk, but also boosting your overall vitality. Over weeks and months, you'll likely notice improved energy, clearer thinking, and more stable blood pressure. Remember that stroke doesn't care how healthy you think you are, how busy your schedule is, or what you have planned. It can strike in minutes without warning. But each morning, you have the power to tip the odds in your favor, because your brain is your most valuable asset. And everything you do in those first moments after waking either protects it or puts it at risk. The choice is yours. And the best way to build these habits is to start small. Pick 2 changes to focus on tomorrow, like drinking water before coffee and doing a quick stroke symptom check. And once those become second nature, add another, and then another, until the whole routine is part of your life. When you've made these habits automatic, you're essentially building a shield around your brain, one that not only reduces stroke risk, but also supports healthy aging, mental clarity, and independence. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just listen to this advice. Take action, because knowledge without action is just information, but knowledge with action can save lives. And if you found this information helpful, share it with your friends and family, especially anyone over 60, because you never know who might be only days away from a stroke without realizing it. And if you want more science-backed tips on protecting your brain and body as you age, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Because every healthy choice you make today is an investment in a stronger tomorrow. Your brain is the control center for everything you think, feel, and do. And it deserves your protection every single day, starting from the moment you open your eyes in the morning. So tomorrow when you wake, remember this: hydrate, breathe, check your body, move slowly, nourish your brain, and begin your day calmly. Because every healthy morning is not just the start of a day, it's a victory for your future.